Hello and welcome to the penetration testing with Kali Linux and Raspberry Pi course. My name is Cristian Gradistanu and I'm honored to be your instructor for this course. Let's see what we're going to discuss in this course. We will start with the hardware and software discussion. We'll see what are the required components in order to perform penetration testing. Throughout this course, I will use a Raspberry Pi device as I think that this will add a bit of fun to the course. I will discuss the advantages and disadvantages of using such a device in an upcoming lesson. Anyway, if you don't want to invest in such a device, you can follow along by installing Kali Linux in a virtual environment on your computer, a process that will also be discussed in this course. Then we will perform some wireless penetration testing. Everything will be discussed from the ground up, which makes this course suitable for beginners and more advanced users also. We will see how we can protect against these attacks by improving our network security. We will discuss the necessary steps to perform penetration testing in order to achieve better results. If you got any question regarding these topics, feel free to start a discussion and I'll get back to you immediately. I would also like to hear from you, so feel free to connect with me on Twitter and Google+. Thank you for enrolling this course. I hope that you will enjoy it at least as much as I did while creating it and will learn something from it. In this lesson, we will discuss about the hardware and software requirements for this course. As I mentioned earlier, I will use a Raspberry Pi device throughout this course, but you can follow along without a Raspberry Pi in case you don't have one available or don't want to purchase one. I'll discuss how to install Kali Linux in a virtual machine in a later video so you can benefit from this course without additional hardware. In case you would like to run Kali Linux on a Raspberry Pi device, here is the one that I'm using in this course. I'm using a Raspberry Pi version 2, which is the latest version available, but you can follow along with an older version also. The Raspberry Pi 2 has 1 GB of RAM, twice as much as the previous version, and a quad-core CPU clocked at 900 MHz, which runs approximately 6 times faster than the previous version. Its price on Amazon is 43.77, but I think that you can find better deals on eBay. This version of Raspberry Pi is fully compatible with the previous versions, meaning that you can run Kali Linux on those versions also, but keep in mind that you can expect lower performance on those older Raspberry Pi devices. The Raspberry Pi is a credit card sized mini computer, and the latest version has fairly decent processing power. It contains 4 USB ports, an Ethernet port, combined 3.5 mm audio jack and composite video, a full HDMI port for video and audio, a micro USB jack for power input, a camera interface, and 40 GPIO pins. On the back of the device, we can find a micro SD card slot in which we can insert a micro SD card that will contain the operating system. Talking about the micro SD cards, these are fairly inexpensive these days, and for about $9 you can purchase one having a capacity of 8 gigabytes, which will be enough for our Kali Linux installation and additional utilities. This microSD card also comes with a microSD to SD card adapter, which allows you to use your microSD card as a larger size SD card. Another thing to consider when purchasing a microSD card is the transfer speed. For instance, this Class 10 model can reach speeds up to 48 megabytes per second. Amazon offers a bundle deal containing a Raspberry Pi version 2, a microSD card, and an AnyMax wireless adapter. While all these can be purchased for about $62, we are not going to use the specific wireless adapter in this course because it is not fully compatible with Kali Linux and wireless penetration testing. We will discuss about the wireless adapters shortly. Next, you might need a card reader that will allow you to transfer files from your computer to the microSD card. While newer computers might come with such a card reader already available, you will need to purchase a USB card reader in case your computer does not contain one. This one, for instance, supports both SD and micro SD cards and can be purchased at an inexpensive price. Next, we are going to talk about the wireless adapter that we will use in this course. This TP-Link model is exactly the one that I will use. In order for the adapter to be fully compatible with Kali Linux, this has to support monitoring mode and packet injection. We'll discuss more about these features throughout the course. This TP-Link is a fairly inexpensive model which works great with Kali Linux and Raspberry Pi. As an alternative, you can use the more powerful Alpha AWUSO36NH wireless adapter, which is very popular in pen testing world. It is a bit more expensive than the TP-Link model, but covers a wider Wi-Fi range. Next, we need to power the Raspberry Pi somehow. When choosing a power supply for the Raspberry Pi, it is recommended to pick one which provides 2 amps or 2000 milliamps. While the Raspberry Pi runs perfectly fine with 1 amp power supply without any USB devices connected to it, like a keyboard, a mouse, or even a USB Wi Fi adapter like the one that we are going to use in this course, when other devices are connected to the Raspberry Pi's USB ports, it is recommended to use a power supply which provides over 1 amp. This one supplies 2 amps and is a great choice. So keep in mind that if something goes wrong with your Raspberry Pi or it does not act as expected, make sure that you are using a power supply that provides enough power for additional USB peripherals. And finally, the router that we will use in this course in order to perform our wireless penetration testing is this exceptionally stable Linksys WRT54GL. This is a pretty old wireless router manufactured by Linksys but very stable. I have used this router for about 5 or 6 years without any issues or many reboots. Of course, you can use any wireless router that is capable of WEP, WPA, and WPA version 2 encryption, but I'm going to use this Linksys router in this course. As for the software used in this course, we will primarily use Kali Linux, which is the successor of the well-known Backtrack Linux used for hacking and penetration testing. Kali is available for several CPU architectures, and on Offensive Security website, we can find images of Kali Linux available for VMware, which is a virtualization